Okay. So right, we're just on a generic page. I'm in a fall course. The summer courses are in there, so you could be in a summer course as well. Next fall courses, fall of 18, will be in starting May 1st. So in 2 weeks.
Okay.
Okay, so the beginning of May, they're gonna start pushing out on May 1st. I found that out this morning. So you can start building in that area, those fall courses beginning May 1st. Or if you want to get a head start, you could always build an old fall and we could copy old fall to new fall. But obviously you have 50 million other things going on right now. So I wouldn't necessarily say, hey, you need to get in there and start building for fall. Wait for those environments to populate come May 1st. And then you can start putting items in those environments.
So you know how, if it's the same course you've been teaching at the farm,
Yeah.
and you could just dump, you just traveled my folders over?
Yep.
Can we do that same similar thing?
We can do that same similar thing, canvas to canvas.
So initially, Campus Cruiser to Canvas.
Correct, you have to build.
Okay.
Then we have to build. So if a lot of the shared files and stuff, we can batch download.
Yeah.
And like bookmarks and stuff, we can batch download. But as far as creating the assignments and the assessments, that all has to be built from scratch. But if there are files, PDFs, docs, PowerPoints, all of that stuff, we can grab in one batch and dump in Canvas in one batch.
That's not as labor intensive as
So that I can help you with.
Okay.
Yeah, the labor intensive stuff here is going to be rebuilding assignments, rebuilding assessments for those of us that use assessments inside of our LMS. A lot of people use ExamSoft, so that's.
We're still using it.
Still using ExamSoft.
Okay.
Yep. But like some of the lower level stuff, like the 125 courses and stuff, all of their assessments are in Campus Cruiser.
Oh, okay.
So all that stuff is going to have to be built inside of Canvas.
Okay.
So we'll look at that specific to those courses.
So Andrew, I'm looking, my courses right now are only spring courses. I don't have anything else on here.
Okay.
How do I get to Canvas from here, or can I?
I'm not really sure what you're talking about. Oh, well, you're in Cruiser. I'm in Canvas. So you need to go to widener.edu, and instead of clicking on Campus Cruiser, clicking on Canvas.
Oh, okay.
I'm in a totally different place.
Okay.
Yeah. All good. All right, so this is a fall class. Notice, look at your template here in your fall class, right? We got this, we looked at all this in our prior sessions. Welcome to, name of the class, yada, yada, yada. The spring class and the summer classes template look a little bit different. So if you're in, here is my spring 18. That one looks the same. I think it might be the summer. That looks a little bit different. Here is the summer. Instead of them having you delete all of this text, they put it in a picture. So that when you go to edit this area now, and I click edit, this isn't all text, this is one image. So on my keyboard, I can just hit delete and get rid of that whole image. So all that is it's like a how-to, right? It's a, hey, this is how this is here, this is how you publish a course, this is how you change your homepage, this is how you upload your syllabus. You don't want the students to see that. That's information for you as the instructor of how to build out this course. So here, when you hit edit, that's just an image, and I just delete that image. And now no longer that how-to is there. Okay, so that's just one more kind of preemptive building that goes on there. Make sure you get rid of that how-to stuff so the students aren't seeing that. I think they'll be a little confused on how to publish their syllabus when they're not the ones making the syllabus. So that information is there just for you. All right, so that's how the template looks a little bit different, but I'm going to go back into one of my courses because today we're going to concentrate on actually building content in a course. We looked at how to change this information on the front end. We looked at some of the tools along the side, like announcements and attendance throughout. I want to look at how to actually build these places where the students either submit an assignment or complete a discussion board or complete an assessment, those things that we rely on students to be able to do on their own outside of our learning environment, right? The majority of our learning environment
Can
is
I get that page online? Or can I or no?
the majority
You
of
just
the,
open a course out.
yeah, you just gotta click on a course,
So the one this semester?
whichever one you want.
I'm in on 3-3.
There you go.
Oh, I see.
Yep, you're just clicking on a course. So the majority of your time in a lecture setting is you talking and the students conversing with you and conversing with each other. 95% of assignments and things that are due are done outside of class time, right? You're not doing those things in a lecture hall. They're responsible for those things outside of your lecture. So those things need to be built inside of Cruiser, or I'm sorry, I'm going to keep on doing that.
Yeah.
Inside of Canvas. It doesn't help that they're both C words, but they need to be built inside of Canvas so that the students have somewhere to put that material and upload their submissions or complete their assessment or write on a discussion board. So all of those things need to be available for them. So 2 paths, and it is really up to you as to what path you choose, okay? When you go to build the content of a course, the content of the course can be built in 2 separate places, but it all goes to the same place. It's kind of like, which door do you want to enter? Do you want to go in the front door or do you want to go in the back door? Guess what? You're still going in the house and everything in the house is the same. You're just entering through a different door. So building the classes are the same way. Which door do you want to go with? Do you want to build inside of the actual assignment section, like going in the front door? Or do you want to build inside of the modules section, like going in the back door? Okay, now here's the difference. Modules is the content, right? In module 1 of my class, we complete an assignment, complete a discussion board, and upload a paper. That's what we complete in module 1, right? Those are the steps of module 1. All of those 3 things, the assignment, the discussion board, and the paper, also are assignments in the class. So here, when you click on assignments, on the left-hand side of your page, you get the different types of assignments that are available inside of that class. You say, well, that sounds great, but I don't do quizzes in my class. So that doesn't need to be an assignment for me. That's perfectly fine. Next to quizzes, click on your 3 dots and hit delete if you don't need quizzes in your assignments. And you say, oh man, I just delete quizzes, but I need quizzes. That's okay. Go up to the top, hit plus group, and type in the word quizzes because you just deleted it. Now you need to put it back. So it's not just because you delete something doesn't mean it's gone forever. We can literally just put that category right back for you. Notice that when you hit the group, it gives you the opportunity right away to tell you what percentage of the grade that group is, right? My quizzes are worth 40%. My discussion boards are worth 20%. My assignments are worth 10%. So you're literally setting that up right here. For those of you that were just talking about that paper, you're saying first draft is worth 10%. Final draft is worth 40%. And now that is in your grade book like that. So when you put in that grade of a 90 on the first draft, that 90 only counts for 10% of their grade. But when you put in an 80 for their final draft, that 80 now counts for 40% of their grade. So all of that can be done right here on that screen. As opposed to Campus Cruiser, we had to go in, set up category weights, then go in, do the assignments, and put the assignments in a category. Backwards, right? It didn't make any sense. Here, you're able to do everything right from the same screen. You create the assignment, you tell it what weight it needs to be, okay? Now, obviously, if you look here, my assignments are worth 30% of my total because I already put that in. So right now, this one assignment is worth 30%. If I add 2 more assignments here, so I have 3 assignments in assignments, 30% of the total, each one of those 3 is worth 10. So it's doing the division for you.
Oh.
You're not saying, oh, I have these 5 assignments, it's worth 30%, so I need to make sure that each one of these is worth 6, because 5 times 6 is 30. It does all that for you. So you're telling it at the front end, this is an assignment, my assignments are worth 30, and no matter how many assignments you put in there, it will divide by 30 to make sure that each one of those has the correct weight.
That's nice.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so don't be thrown off by the fact that this isn't gonna change here. If I do a plus next to my assignments, and I say example 1, I'm gonna say it's worth 100 points, and it's going to be due tomorrow on the 18th. Here's my example 1, worth 100 points, due tomorrow on the 18th. Now, my total is still 30, but each one of these is worth 15, right? Because I have 2 things here that add up to 30. 1 adds up to 30, 15 twice. So if I put 6 here, each one's gonna be worth 5. 6 times 5 is 30. If I put 30 here, each one of them is going to be worth 1, because 30 times 1 is 30. Okay, so it's doing the math for you.
Does it show the student the math?
It shows the student the math as well,
Okay.
which right now in Cruiser is a very blind thing to them.
Yeah.
They got to click on a whole other screen to figure out what
And how much
category
that
rates they're going
particular
to.
assignment is, right?
Great thing about the gradebook is not only does it show them the weight, it allows them to plug in a false grade. So they say, okay, here's where my grade is.
Yeah,
If I get a 75 on my next test,
yeah,
what's my grade gonna be? So the moving the decimal, the what
Yeah.
percentage is it worth, how much of the total, all of that is beyond a lot of our students because computers do all that for us
Yeah.
now. No one does that math by hand anymore. No one calculates that by hand. So this allows you to plug and play and
okay,
say, okay, I'm at the end of the semester, I got 3 assignments left. If I get a 70 on this one, an 80 on this one, and I really bust my rear and I get a 90 on this one, what's my grade gonna be? And it allows the student to put those in to make that kind of false scenario
Okay.
for them. So I thought that was a really good feature. That
It
really
is.
caught my eye, because students want to know that. Although we don't want them to be shooting for the bare minimum, they
Yeah.
want to know what they need to get in order to
They
keep
do.
that 85
They do.
in the class. And if they only got to get a 76, then they're going to shoot for the 76.
yeah,
It's the world they live in, but they want to know that number. So I love that part of the grade book. I think that's very helpful for
yeah,
them.
you know, in the med surge courses, there's like 120, 130 kids. Is there some filter that says who's the 10 that didn't hand it in, or that I could just?
I'm honestly not sure about
Okay.
that because I haven't seen a class with that size
Yeah,
individuals. If I'm able to kind of index it by missing assignments
Yeah.
or, you know, I need everyone who's missing 2 assignments, give me
Right.
a list of it.
like, could you put
Yeah.
April 18th hand in at, so is there some way I could go April 19th and just know who? I mean, it's labor intensive, you can go
Right.
look. But
I think that once you click on the assignment the same way, we
Yeah.
can see the submissions of the assignment
Right,
and you'll be able to see blank
It's
spaces.
cleaner,
Yeah, for those
definitely.
students.
for how it populates.
Right.
Like, you could see it was submitted right underneath their name,
Good.
but I was just wondering about that.
Yeah, so that's something that we're gonna learn in time. And, you know, as we start building out these classes, this is new to you, it's new to me too.
Yeah,
So, I mean, as we go through those kind of, I think, learning periods of our summer and fall semester, we'll find some of those nuances a little bit,
okay,
okay? So here, right, in my class, I have 4 items, or I'm sorry, how many? 1, 2, let's see, I'll collapse these. And then I don't have to count like a weirdo. Here are my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 items that make up my entirety of my class. I have assignments worth 30, message boards worth 20, quizzes worth 25, participation worth 5, an exam worth 10, and journal reflections worth 10. Okay? Now, this is the beginning of the semester. I know that these are the 6 things that happen in my class. There's no arguing that, right? The things that need to be adjusted are the dates, the points, things like this. But this is step number 1. This is what things need to be done in this class, right? And again, maybe I don't have journal reflections. So I just come here to my 3 dots and I delete journal reflections. Okay, maybe I have a video presentation that's due in my class, and that's worth 10% of the grade. Okay, now here's my video presentation, worth 10% of the grade. Okay, so it's really, this is you building your own criteria. What 5, 6 categories do you use in your class? You use assignments, message boards, participation, journal reflections, right? Obviously, this differs drastically when it comes to face-to-face and online environments. If you're in an online environment, I expect to see a variety of ways that we're receiving grades. As opposed to face-to-face, I know in Mary Frances Med-Surg 2 class, there's 3 exams and a HESI. That's your grade. There is no journal reflections, participation. This is a high-stakes class. Those are your grades. So you don't need all this. You literally have exam 1, exam 2, exam 3, whatever percentage they're worth, HESI, whatever percentage it's worth. That's it. So there isn't a lot of building that goes on in courses like that, because a lot of it is face-to-face instruction, and this is just a tool for you to use to keep track of assignments. Okay, at that point, that's all it is. We don't need to find all the gadgets and gizmos to use in Med-Surg 2. That class is working just fine the way it is, isn't it?
Yes.
Absolutely it is. Okay, so here we see the entirety of our class, the big picture. And now, of course, if my message boards, I have more than one here, I'm going to change this to discussions, I can start making these by individually. So I said message board 1, message board 2, message board 3, and so on and so forth. So you're creating the environment for them to participate in those message boards. And obviously now that I have 4 different items underneath my message board, my 20% total, each one of these is worth 5% because now I have 4 message boards. Does that make sense? Okay. Now, obviously, you're not going to do all of the message boards at one time, right? Message board 1 is in the beginning of the semester. Message board 2 is in the second month. Message board 3 is towards the end. Message board 4 is a final reflection on the class as a whole. So these are spread out, right? 1 exists in one module, 2 exists in module 3, 3 exists in module 4, wherever you need to put them. So obviously, as you're over here, I'm now jumping into modules. This is where you build that hierarchy of content. What do I complete in module 1? So I was over here in assignments. I said, these are all the assignments in my course. I have 4 message boards. I have 3 quizzes. I have 10 journal reflections, whatever that might be. And now you're taking those items and you're setting them up sequentially. That's what modules is.
Like week 1, week 2.
Right, exactly. What do I do in this time period? In module 1, that runs from August 28th to September 14th, I need to complete these 3 things. Message board 1, assignment 1, quiz 1. And I know come September 14th, I need to be done with those 3 things. And now module 2 is going to open right underneath that. And I need to complete message board 2, quiz 2, and discussion 2. I would absolutely encourage you to try and keep the numbers kosher, right? So that if I'm clicking on module 2, I'm not completing assignment 7, message board 9, and quiz 4. What the am I doing in this class? Try to make it easy for them. That's not always possible because we do things sequentially, and sometimes message board 2 isn't going to fall in module 2. But I shouldn't be on message board 11 in module 2, right? In my brain, that doesn't really make sense. I need to be able to draw this if you think about it as a concept map, your class is a concept map. I'm learning these things in this time period. I shouldn't be jumping all the way over here to number 11 when everything else is over here in number 1 and number 2.
Are these going to be set up by our coordinators like they have been so far?
Yes. Yes, the coordinators will do the majority of the work for the individuals teaching the courses. But know that we want you to be able to go in and modify to your liking.
Right.
Because even though the coordinator is setting up the course, maybe you need to change that assignment a little bit. And maybe you know your students are going to struggle on one of the assignments and they need a longer period of time. So we need to be able to go in, adjust due dates, look at the grade book. So not necessarily maybe a lot of the setup, but more of the housekeeping things that occur throughout the semester. Someone says, hey, my grade's wrong. Can you look at it? And all of a sudden you're like, well, I guess I can look at it, but I should get my course coordinator. No, you as the professor need to be able to diagnose what's happening with that grade and have that conversation. Okay?
Like Campus Cruiser, can we put timing on these modules? Like they can't open it up
Yes.
before we don't want them to
Absolutely.
open it up?
Let's look at that. Because right here, we all have this. This is built into the template, module 1, as an example, right? Because obviously we got a whole bunch going on here. Module 1, I have a presentation I have to watch. I have a discussion I have to take place in. I have an assignment that's due, and I have to make a quiz. Or I'm sorry, I have to complete a quiz. As an instructor, obviously, I have to make the quiz. But this is just an example of this. So here,
will this be the same screen students will be seeing? Because Campus Cruiser, they can see the date. which is
Correct.
separate.
right now, none of this is published. So until you come up here to your top button in your home page here and hit publish, the students aren't seeing anything. So I would advise you to at least get rid of that generic content that comes with the template and put in, if you don't put in the whole thing, at least put in those first couple modules so they can see what's expected of them in the first month or 2 of the course. You can always build throughout the semester. No one's saying you have to have your whole course built right now. You can always go in and build throughout the semester. I don't know if that's necessarily the best approach, but it's certainly your prerogative as a professional. But no one can see anything in here until I hit publish. And same thing in modules. Up here, you're welcome to class. Look, I have a green check mark. This particular module, when I hit publish, students will be able to see. But because module 1, my generic one, does not have a green check mark, right now it just has an X through it, even if I hit publish, they will not see that because I did not publish that particular module. So that's a way for you to continue working in the class without the students seeing it. Right, because in Campus Cruiser, as soon as we put up an assignment, students saw the assignment. As soon as we put up an assessment, students saw the assessment. It was right away. So here, Canvas, there's a layer of publish. The whole course is published, but then you can also just publish individual assignments or individual modules. And you can get into some of those settings by just clicking on your 3 dots here. Everything has these 3 dots at the end of it. That's your settings, right? So when I click on that, I get edit, move, delete, share to commons. Edit gives you your settings for your prerequisites and requirements. So this is what Mary Frances was talking about. Prerequisites, I have to complete my welcome to class, your journey begins before my module 1 opens. And if I don't complete those 3 things, I'm not going to see module 1. So you can add that in there. You're saying you're not allowed to go to module 4 until you complete module 3. So you just have to put that setting in there. And same thing, you can add a requirement that students must move in a sequential order and they must complete particular items. So like if it's a PowerPoint, they need to watch the PowerPoint. You say module 1 overview, they need to view this item. Or they need to mark as done. Or if it's a discussion, they need to contribute to the page. So there's a couple different layers that you can put in there as far as what the students need to do or get done before they go on to something else. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm just thinking, isn't this such an exciting time in education?
Yeah.
Like, there's so much you could do.
You have complete control.
You know, like there's
Yeah.
just so much.
It is the definition of complete control.
Yeah,
I mean, you couldn't get anything more here.
I mean, this is so.
I mean, you try, I just picture myself sitting in my classroom as a 4th grade teacher and
Yeah.
telling my students that they can't do this thing until they get done with this thing.
Yeah,
And that never happens.
I know.
Because the thing they want to do is what's second. The thing they don't want to do is
Yeah.
what they're dragging their feet on. So here, same thing. The students want to get to the easy stuff. Sorry, you can't get to the easy stuff
Yeah.
until you contribute to the harder stuff. Or until you make or contribute to that message board, you can't get down to the place where you're able to submit your assignment. Because Sally likes to submit all her assignments on Monday and do her message boards on Friday. Well, guess what? The message board builds off the assignment. So Sally, you're SOS.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to complete the message board before you do the assignment. Because how could you reflect on your assignment if you didn't do the message board first? So right now, we have no control over that in Cruiser. It's just students go wherever they want. They can do this, then do this, then do this. So here you can set that path a little bit more. This door doesn't open until you made it through this door, or vice versa. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
So again, you could,
amazing.
I mean, you could spend hours in here setting up. You're not allowed to do this until you do this, 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 and this. And you're not allowed to look at this until you contribute here, submit this, and do this. Don't drive yourself crazy with that.
Yeah,
I would focus on kind of the module picture. You're not allowed, if you want to set up things like that, you're not allowed to go to module 2 until you complete module 1. Don't drive yourself crazy with. You're not allowed to go to assignment 1 in module 1 until you complete discussion board 1 in module 1. You'll make so many little nuances throughout, then you'll go into grade something and people's stuff isn't there because they weren't able to do it before they did something else. So that'll throw you off a little bit. I would stick to the module format. You can't complete this module until you look at this module. Does that make sense? Now, here,
But the content presentations where the PowerPoints go, or
yeah, content presentation would be a place where you could put PowerPoints.
how about videos and things?
But same thing, content presentation.
Okay.
Yeah, because you're presenting the content. So it's no like it has to be this, it's however you choose to present the content. If you choose to present it with a YouTube video, you present it with a YouTube video. If you choose to present it with a PowerPoint, you present it with a PowerPoint. It's whatever your prerogative is for that class.
you know, all those learning platforms that we just watched with Evolve and Pearson and all. So a lot of them had prior to or after DC100 quiz. Say we were doing seizures, there was a quiz you had to take before or after. Is there some way to link their platform to this platform?
That's a good question. It depends if they like each other,
Okay.
basically. We have to
That
ask
would
those
feel awesome.
publishers
Yeah.
if they have, and you give me that name and I will reach out to that publisher.
Yeah,
Because all we really need is an LTI key and like something like Elsevier
right.
or
Lippincott.
Lippincott or something like that. Same way we get Office 365 and Zoom over here,
Yeah,
we can get a Lippincott link. And they're literally just signing into their Lippincott account
that would
right
be
here on
awesome.
campus. And it opens in this window
That's nice.
and they're able to access the modules
All
or the
those
flashcards or
things
whatever
that
else they got.
happen, Yeah,
Yeah. Well, that would be the goal for whether we go with HESI
right.
or
that would be
ATI or Kaplan, whatever.
good. Yeah.
We're gonna put that right here.
Well, I
So
think-
now we're no longer, oh, go log into the Kaplan website and
Yes.
check it out. It's, no, click on Kaplan, and now something in Kaplan can be part of your assignments in Canvas. You need to do 45 minutes of remediation.
Right.
And I go and I look and I make sure you were signed into Kaplan for 45
We
minutes.
should find out which ones communicate with Canvas.
I believe they all do.
Oh, they all do?
They all do. It's just, all of them do it in kind of a different fashion.
Okay.
So like some of them, you get all the features.
Yeah.
Some of them, you're just able to see some of the
Maybe
content.
some of their
So it
faces.
depends on which
Okay.
one we go with, but I'm 95% sure all of them speak to Canvas in some facet.
Okay.
It's just how much it is. But yeah, that's
That's
definitely
a
part of
deal
the
breaker,
conversation, yeah, for sure. And that's something that I talked to Rose about,
Is
when
group
we talked about the
discussion
testing
the same thing as
services.
message board?
Yes, group discussion can be the same thing as message board. Know that not only do you have discussions here, which is your message board, you have collaborations as well. Collaborations is on a specific document. So if you click on, I'm gonna come back here to modules, but real quick. If you click on collaborations, and then up here plus collaboration, you're setting up students to collaborate on Word, Excel, or PowerPoint. So you're saying, hey, Johnny, Susie, and Matt, you're in group 1. I'm going to set you up as a collaboration in group 1 on your PowerPoint. So here, I say, here's my PowerPoint. I give it a document name, yada, yada, yada. I add my collaborators, which this will just be a list of your students, and you drag them over. And you say, these 3 students are a collaborator on this PowerPoint, and you save. Okay, that is the way to set up group work. It's no longer, hey guys, try to get together sometime in the library, see if you can make something, share it with each other, and then see if you can get it back to me. We don't need that anymore. All of it's right here. Go to collaborations in Canvas, find your group,
It says
your
get
document
started
is
with
there,
collaboration.
get started.
Doesn't tell me what to do.
It's all right there. So now I can't really go to the fullest of this feature because I don't have anybody in this
On the
class.
collaboration button.
So I can't show you how to use Collaborate. So that's something that's going to come further down the line as our classes start to populate here. All right, let me go back to modules real quick because I just wanted to show you something. Remember I said you could go, and we're each going into the house, but you can go in the front door or the back door. And we started by building in assignments, and we made assignments in the assignment settings. Well, now I've made all of my assignments. I want to tell my students in what order those assignments need to be done. What needs to be completed in module number 1. So here in module number 1, if I just hit the plus sign next to it, I want to add message board 2 to module 1. Remember I made MB2, right? It's already here in my list. I select MB2, I say add item. Now MB2 is in module 1. So same way, I could still do the plus sign, and instead of assignment here and choosing module 2, I haven't made it yet. Now I'm creating from scratch. I can say new assignment. We could never do this in Cruiser. If you wanted something new, you had to go to a whole nother screen to create it. Here, I'm making it on a whim. Oh man, I forgot to make that. You know what? We're doing the paper in module 1. I'm not really sure that they have it. I want to give them an opportunity to submit a rough draft. That rough draft was never anywhere on my syllabus. This is something I'm making on the fly. It's a teachable moment. I see they need more help. We need remediation. I need to add this so they have a place to put it. So all I'm doing is I'm adding assignment, new assignment, and I'm giving it a name. Rough draft submission. Add item. Boom. Rough draft submission. It's right there. So we don't have to go all the way back to the assignment editor, click on assignments, click on new assignment, go back to modules, add that assignment to the module. You just did 6 clicks to accomplish 1 goal. Here, we're able to just hit the plus sign, say new assignment, and add it on a whim. Now, obviously, on a whim assignments are very minimal, right? We have our syllabus. These are the grades. These are the assignments. This is a contract. This is what we go by. So I'm not saying we'll use that feature a lot, but I think it's awesome that we don't have to go to a whole nother place just to do something. Because there are times where we forget to put something in. Oh man, I forgot to add that to the grade book. You can literally do that from right here, rather than clicking all over the place to do that one thing. Does that make sense?
I have a question about discussions.
Sure, go ahead.
For group discussions, could this be an avenue for the student to ask me a question, but perhaps another student in the class had the same question?
Absolutely.
So they could, so any questions about the lecture, they put it here and then the whole class could see it?
Yep. Because this is your message board. I
Right,
mean, you're creating the topic. So in general, right, if you want to do that, you would create a topic that says lecture questions.
yeah,
And in the description, you would say, this is a place where you can write questions from the lecture and your classmates or myself will respond to you. This is an open forum.
perfect,
And people just go in and they type their questions as they have them.
great.
Right. And then you also have, right, some of the more focused conversations, your actual message boards that might be occurring during class. So here is my message board 1, right? And I can click on my settings for message board 1. And actually, I think I need to actually go in and click on message board 1. And then here is where we kind of get what happens on message board 1. So message board 1, here's where you would put what the topic is or what we're responding to. Susie had an irregular heartbeat. What should the nurse do? I don't know, whatever you guys ask. Put it in there, and then that's the stem for the students. That's what they're responding to on the message board. Maybe it's an article. Maybe it's a PDF you want them to respond to. That's fine. Over here is your files. So I have a, let's see, these are all images here. How about I just
I'm gonna just drag
take the
it right
class
in.
overview over there.
Completely.
Let's pretend that was a PDF, right? But same thing, if this is a file, and I say, you know what, I need you to read this PDF, and then after you read the PDF, I want you to post 3 questions based on the article to your classmates so they can respond to your questions. Well, where do I get the PDF? Do I have to go to shared files to get it? No, it's right here in the post. I'm gonna give it to you. It's not letting me do it. Probably because it's, oh, look,
There it is.
I just have to click on it.
Oh.
Let's
You
pretend
don't
those are all
drag it, just
PDFs,
click.
right?
Wow.
So, and then after that, you're actually putting, please read the article above, yada, 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 and respond to 3 classmates. You can have other options here. I love some of these, not so much. I love threaded replies. What does that mean when it's a threaded reply?
People are answering each other.
They're answering each other,
Yeah.
and it shows that way on the screen. Right now, if someone answers you on Cruiser, everything lines up
Right.
on top of each other.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen here is if, let's say, Dana is making the first post, Mary Frances then replies, it's going to indent underneath Dana.
Okay,
You reply to Mary Frances, it's going to indent underneath Mary Frances. But if you reply to Dana, it's going to indent underneath
Well,
Dana.
that's gonna be nice.
So it
Yeah.
allows me to follow
Right.
the conversation. It's not, wait, were you replying to me or were you replying to the other person?
Yeah.
Because I want to say, wow, that was a great reply. I really love the questions, and that was a great way to answer that question.
But sometimes the students don't address the person they're responding to.
Correct.
They're wondering
And you have no
who
idea who
they're
he's talking to.
Right.
So that way, whatever reply button I hit on the post, if I reply to you, it goes threaded underneath you. If I reply to her, it goes threaded underneath her, as opposed to just, this was the first, this was the second, this was the third.
Yeah.
So it kind of gives that hierarchical layout, if that's an even a word,
No,
hierarchical.
we know what you mean.
Okay.
it sounds like a word.
Yeah. So allow threaded posts. I love that idea. I also love users must post before seeing replies. So you're not allowed to reply to your classmates until you contribute to the board yourself. That stops a lot of people from taking other people's ideas.
Oh, that's another
People
nice
sit in the
thing.
background and they wait for those first 3 people to respond, and they think, ooh, I like those first 3 ideas.
Yeah.
Oh, I can write that in my own words.
Yeah.
I can do that.
Yeah.
Well,
I
now
like that.
you can't see any of that until
Oh.
you make your post. So we're not allowing users to post before,
Well,
okay?
That's cool.
We also have enable podcast feed. That would be if someone wants to be able to embed a podcast or something. I don't think a lot of us use that, so that might be above us. Graded. Some of your stuff might be graded. General questions would not
Yeah.
be graded. Graded gives you a place to put the score in the top right-hand corner so that that score goes directly to the grade book. So you're no longer saying, okay, these 3 people did it. Let me check them off my list. Okay, now let me click on my grade book and let me put in their scores. You see their 3 posts, there'll be a place to put in their score right on their post. If you have this graded box checked, it gives you a place to put the grade and then it goes right to the grade book. It's a beautiful thing. And I love this, and the students will too. Allow people to like it. Because not a lot of people are gonna say, great job, nice job, really love your response. Those are generic things. But every single one of our students is so used to either putting the thumbs up or double tapping on Instagram to see the heart. They're all about liking things. That's just what they do.
yeah,
So bring it into your
Where did you
online
find the
environment
options
too.
under this? I don't-
This is just on,
open-
here I clicked on message board 1, or whatever message board you have. So I'm in discussions.
Mhm.
Okay, when I click, what do you have on discussions? Open forum?
Group discussion,
Okay, do you have this open forum here?
yeah,
Okay, click on your 3 dots.
oh, yeah. Both for comments, unpin, move.
Oh, I'm
to
sorry.
Duplicate.
Just click on open forum. And that brings up the page. And then click on edit at the top. And that gives you all the settings. So look what happened on this one. Not only can you allow liking, but you can only allow graders to like, or you can sort by likes. So maybe you say in your class that the best response that week that got the most likes doesn't have to participate in next week's message board. That gives them incentive to
yeah.
have the best post, the most thought-provoking post in the class. So whoever gets the most likes, the sort by likes, the most posts will go to the top. The one with the most likes will go to the top.
That's pretty amazing.
I was the best this week.
Yeah.
I get next week off. I had the best post this week. So that gives them a little bit of a oomph, maybe to push them forward, especially for those that struggle sometime on those message boards. And especially those that sit in the back seat and wait for the first 3 to post so they can write it in their own words. Because we definitely have those. So obviously here, outside of your settings, you just have your basic due dates. When is it open? When does it close? And obviously, if it's something throughout the semester, you don't put in dates. But if it's something for a specific module, maybe you want the beginning of the module and the end of the module date there. Are we okay there? Are we learning a lot today?
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, good. I'm
I
glad
think
to
it's
hear.
gonna be good. I have to wrap up, Andrew.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm wrapping up too,
Okay,
because I don't want to go too far, because I have a feeling that tomorrow's group might be a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
And then that means there's probably more questions. That means there's less time for me to be talking. So the further I
is tomorrow
go,
the same thing that you did?
yeah, tomorrow's the same thing. But really, at this point, I don't have a Canvas 4 in mind. I'm really out of things to
Okay,
talk about that I think would be absolutely prevalent at this time in your presence in Canvas. So I'm requesting that if you need more time, or you literally want to sit and set up a whole class, I will do that with you, but you need to make a time for me to do that. I have no problem doing that with
I'm
you.
sure when we try to start building our first one, we'll have lots.
Yeah.
Andrew.
Well, I think once the fall stuff gets in there,
Yeah,
and the course coordinators can start pushing some of that stuff out,
exactly.
we'll go from there.
Yeah. But no, this has been good. It's comforting. It looks like it's gonna be user friendly, really. You know, so,
It's intuitive once you have your intuition centered.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it can be very overwhelming if you're just going in. So that's why I tried to block it up into these little sessions.
Right,
so that we weren't just diving headfirst into all this stuff.
cool, thank you.
Absolutely, no problem. How about you, Mary? How you doing?
Pretty good, Andrew. How are you?
I'm good. You have any questions?
I had a couple, but they can wait. I can, for sure, we are not going to be having Canvas, our summer classes in Canvas. Is
Say
that
it
a
one more
definite?
time.
Are the summer classes in Canvas?
Your summer classes can be in Canvas or they can be in Campus Cruiser.
Oh, okay. Because I
You
might,
can do either one you
like to-
want.
all right. Okay, so,
But come fall, everything is Canvas.
right, okay. But I do have the option of using Canvas this summer.
Yes,
Okay,
it's whatever you want to do.
all righty. I'm going to be hitting you up for how to embed a video
All right, I'm here.
and a few other things.
All right, good.
All right, thank you. Ta-ta.
Ta-ta, have a great day.
Thank you. You
Thank
too.
you for joining us.
Okay.
All right, ladies good?
We're good to go?
All right, sounds good. I will stop recording then.
Also,